focus? Are we focusing? Okay. Let me just say, it is tricky business wearing a strapless top on camera and not looking naked. So I'm trying to like strategically sit right here and not move so that I don't look naked. Okay? So anyways, today's video is going to be a makeup tutorial on this look right here. I asked you guys on Twitter a couple days ago to send me photos of fall looks that you would like to see, an inspiration for me, and a ton of you guys sent me photos of purple smoky eyes, and a ton of you guys were tweeting me that you wanted to see purple smoky eyes. So I was like, okay, majority rules, we shall do some purple smoky eyes. And not to mention, I've also seen a lot of people leaving comments all over my socials the past couple of days saying that they want me to do a look that is a cat eye but does not involve a sharp wing liner because it's too difficult for them to do. And I totally understand that. Winged liner can be so difficult to really get it down. And even once you feel like you're an expert at it, it still takes an extra 5 to 10 minutes to do. And you still have to sit there like, okay, are the wings even? Is it sharp enough to cut a bitch? I get it, it's a lot. So I wanted to create a cat eye for you guys that requires no eyeliner, and we are still working in the purple smoky eyes. So I'm trying to meet as many needs as possible, as many requests as possible, you know what I'm saying? So, oh my God, that is a bug. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this smoky purple cat eye, and that's it. I will see you soon.
Okay, so first things first, I'm going to be priming my eyes. I am personally using the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer, but whatever primer works for you, go ahead and use that as long as your eyes are primed. That's all that matters. Now we're going to be going in with some good old Scotch tape. I'm going to be ripping off some of this, and then I'm going to be placing it on the back of my hand. The reason we do that is because we want to get off any harsh stickiness so that it's not too harsh on our eyes, because we don't want to be like pulling really tightly at it. So now what I'm going to do is line it up with my lower lash line, going up towards the corner of my eyebrow and placing it there. And you do not have to be too precise with this, because I will show you how to clean it up if they end up being uneven with one another. So first shadow I'm going to go in with is Makeup Geek Frappe, and I'm going to be using a Morphe M441 brush, which is kind of a longer haired bristle, and I'm using that for this because I want to start lower in the crease today than I normally do. Normally I start with a higher transition color, but today we're going to start lower, and we're really going to flick it out on the outer corner. And then, oh, quick little breakdown to the Friends theme song. You can't listen to the Friends theme song and not have a quick little dance party. Come on. So basically what I'm going to be doing is putting this generously on the outer corner of the eye and then blending it inward. As you have less product on your brush, you want to go upward, and you want to really flick that out on top of the Scotch tape. That Scotch tape is going to give us a really clean line, so don't worry about being sloppy. Now we're going to go in with MAC Cranberry, which is such a beautiful color for the fall. Just throw this all over your lid and you're good to go, honestly. Using the exact same brush, I'm going to put that in the exact same place that I did the Makeup Geek Frappe. It's just going to give a lot of dimension. And again, we're really going to flick that out over that Scotch tape to give that intense wing. I'm going to try to keep this as low as possible and not go as high with it as I did with Frappe, because it does have shimmer. And I personally don't think that shimmer going up really high on the lid area can be too flattering. So we're going to try to keep it a little bit lower and then just blend it out. Now going in with MAC Embark, which is a super, super dark chocolatey brown. I'm going to be using the Morphe M443 brush, and I'm going to really concentrate this on the outer corner of the eye over that Scotch tape, packing it on really generously, keeping it very low, and then bringing it slightly into the inner corner. You will see here as I pack this onto the inner corner and then I start to blend it out, I'm going to take my brush and really flick it up on the Scotch tape, kind of creating a wave motion so that it goes really up and intense as a cat eye, but then kind of dips down into the crease area. So it kind of looks like a wave, if you know what I mean. You can see what I'm doing right there. Now I'm going to grab some Makeup Geek Poppy. Such a fun shade. And I'm going to go back in with the M441 brush and just put a little pop of this on the outer corner of the eye and then slightly blending it inward. I just felt like I needed something to mesh the colors together and go over top of the cranberry and the frappe and just make it all pop. So that's why I went in with frappe. Now I'm going to go in with MAC Sketch. One of my favorite colors ever. I've used this in many tutorials. I personally think that it is one of the best, most universal wearable purples out there because it has a little tiny bit of shimmer, but it's not too shimmer. It really feels like a matte, but it's very easy to apply, and it's such a great dark wine shade. So I'm going to pack that all over the entire lid, and this is going to be our main color on the lid. I am using a Sigma E55. Any flat brush that you have will work to pack this shade on. I'm really going to make sure that I come all the way in on the inner socket and all the way out to that Scotch tape. And then I'm going to go back in with the M443 and make sure that we have all these colors blended beautifully together. And again, concentrating on the outer corner by the Scotch tape to make sure it is very dark. Now we shall reveal so you can see how sharp our edges are. It's amazing. You can be as sloppy as you want and it's like, oh, no damage done. So I'm going to be going in with the MAC Pro Emphasize powder. Any really light powder will do the trick, but I just want to show you guys how to kind of clean this situation up so that it's not too intense for you. So I'm just going to take any synthetic brush you want, and I'm going to begin to apply that powder to the top of the brow bone, blending it downward. This is going to make that line not so harsh and really diffuse it, and you can go in with this powder as many times as you want to really clean this up so that it's not like wha-bam in your face. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking a liner brush and I'm dipping it in a little bit of makeup remover, and I'm literally going to erase a little bit of the shadow because they weren't perfectly even, so I really wanted to even them out. And then what I'll do is I'll go in with a Q-tip and I'll diffuse it a little bit more. So like I said, don't be too obsessed with the Scotch tape initially because it's not even. There's so many tricks that I want to fill you guys in on to really make it look perfect and diffuse it so it's not too intense. And you don't have to do liquid liner, but at the same time, you still have the same effect. Now I'm going to move on to my skin. See, the eyes were pretty easy, right? I think it's pretty easy, especially for such a dramatic look. I think that Scotch tape and those tricks make it really easy to achieve this cat eye. So after priming my skin, I'm going to go in with foundation, and I have been loving this foundation for the past month, and this is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Stick Foundation. It is really full coverage, so what I do is I literally just swipe it on my face, and then I'm going to go in with an M439 brush, and I'm going to spritz some Fix Plus. I'm like, I need a little bit more, let's get real. And I'm going to begin to just blend this out. It is so blendable, and as you blend it out, it doesn't break up, and it doesn't get sheer. Like, it remains a full coverage as you're blending it, which I love. And I also am using the Fix Plus, which is going to make it a little bit more sheer in coverage. So if you don't use the Fix Plus, it's going to be very full coverage, but I don't want it to be too intense and be cake face because things can tend to settle in my lines. So I like to sheer things out a little bit with the Fix Plus. Now I'm going to be doing concealer. You guys know the drill. I am using the Urban Decay Naked Weightless Concealer. I cannot say enough good things about this concealer. Oh my gosh, I think it is the most amazing concealer ever. I mean, MAC Pro Longwear is great too, but this one isn't as drying, which is why I love it so much because I feel like it looks so much more natural on the under eyes. Now I'm going to go back in with the same MAC Pro Emphasize that I used on my brow, and I'm going to be mixing it with the Anastasia Banana shade that you can find in her contour kit, or you can buy it individually. Those two shades together, I'm just going to lightly tap it on the whole under eye area with my mouth hanging open. I feel like I can't work with my eye area without my mouth hanging open. Now I'm going to do the brows using Anastasia Brow Wiz, and voila! Brows are done. I felt like there was no point. What's the point watching me do my brows? We've seen that 5,000 times. I'm highlighting just the very tip of the brow at the high point with MAC Nylon. Just a little bit. I didn't want to go too overboard. And then moving on to the under eye area. I am using Makeup Geek Chickadee. The reason I use this color is because I feel like Chickadee and MAC Rule, those like really pale orangey shades, they look so beautiful as a base underneath of other colors, especially when you're doing a smoky eye. A lot of people can fear these colors because they're so orange, but they really look like they're just beaming through the other colors that you choose to apply on top of them, and they give such a radiant glow to the eyes, which is why I love them. So I'm going to just be lining my waterline using a black kohl liner. My personal favorite is by Arden In. I think it is the most amazing. It lasts all day, and it is black as night. So through many trial and errors with these liners, this one is not my favorite. And then I'm going to be going in with none other than Makeup Geek Cocoa Bear. I'm sorry, you guys, it's my favorite. And I'm using an E55 definer brush by Sigma, and I'm going to put that all over the lower lash line, blending out that black and mixing it into that orangey chickadee that we have. The thing with purple smoky eyes, if you don't want to look like you're going to get bruised, I would suggest putting some warm shades in there with it because it makes it look very fall appropriate. And when you go with more warmer purples, it's easier to work with as opposed to cool tones can easily look like you're bruised. So that's just a tip. I'm highlighting the inner corners of my eye with MAC Nylon, and then I'm going to pop on some lashes. I'm using Lily lashes in the style Mykonos. This is, I think, the 5th time that I've worn this exact pair, and they're still going strong. They're holding up well, guys, so I'm impressed. So once we have on our false lashes, I'm just going to coat my lower lashes with some mascara. I'm using MAC, I think it's called Extended Play now. It used to be Giga Black Lash. But just a thin coat of that on my lower lashes. And then I am going to move on to contouring thy face. And I'm going to be using the MAC Shade Stir Sculpting Powder, which I raved about in my last video. I think it's such a beautiful color. And I'm applying that with the NARS Eda brush, an oldie but a goodie. And I'm starting at the top of my ears, bringing that down towards the center of my mouth, corner of my mouth, and going about halfway down, not bringing it all the way to the lips because that can be really intense, bringing about halfway down and then blending everything out. I'm using an E34 brush from Morphe to apply that color all over my hairline just to warm up the skin, and then I will go around the jawline, around that contour, just to really make sure that we're buffing everything into the skin and we don't have any harsh lines, because at first it will look harsh, but you just have to keep blending. That's my motto in life, you guys. Let's get real. I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I've done this in the past few videos. It really is just such an easy way to clean up your contour and give you a nice sharp look without having to put in the effort of really like going in and chiseling yourself out. So while I let that sit, I'm going to apply the Becca blush in the shade Sweet Pea, which is perfect for this look because it's got like a plummy purple undertone in it, which matches the eyes beautifully. And especially once we go in with the lip, it's going to be very monochromatic and really complement everything. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that out using a Sigma tapered highlighting brush, but any brush will do. You can do this with a sponge. It'll be fine. And then I'm going to be going in with Anastasia highlighter in the shade Peach Nectar. I'm going to be using this only on the apples of my cheeks. This doesn't work on my cheekbones as a highlight because it has a lot of peachy pink in it, but I'm just going to apply it as like a blush topper. And then for highlights, I'm actually using one that I can't really talk about yet, but I am mixing it with Champagne Pop. But you guys will know about it very soon. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be mean. But I'm just going to put that on the top of my cheekbones with an Morphe M501 brush. And then for lips, I'm going to be using the Dose of Colors liquid lipstick in the shade Truffle, which is such a beautiful shade. It's such a wonderful nude for the fall with like the depth that it has, and it's not too nude and it's not pink. You know what I'm saying? It's a great nude. So I really love this shade. So yeah, once you have on your lip that you choose, this look is complete. And then of course, last but not least, I'm going to take a quick bath in Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. This is an absolute must. And then once we dry off, we are completely done. So I hope that you guys enjoy this look. Make sure you send me more requests and give me more inspiration for looks you want to see. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.